graduates of employers. Likewise, we aim to establish and to be recognized as centers of development and excellence in our academic programs. Pillar 8. Synergistic, productive strategic networks and partnerships. Synergize and forge strategic linkages and partnerships across all sectors of society and the global community in line with the overall plans and programs of the university. Establish alliance with the government, industry sector, NGOs, and the academe will lead to resource sharing, program support, and research collaborations beneficial for all. Pillar 9. Active and sustained stakeholders engagement. Harness a healthy and harmonious organization by empowering all its stakeholders, both internal and external, through open communication networks, consultative and participative undertakings, and team-building activities, recognizing that all stakeholders can greatly contribute towards the betterment of the university. Pillar 10. Sustainable social development programs and projects. Expand access to education, knowledge building, and information dissemination through sharing of expertise and resources for community development. Support inclusivity approach and education by embarking on Education on Wheels, which aims to bring access to education closer to communities, following the principle of no one will be left behind. As the University of the People, we should bring the university closer to their hearts to serve their needs and extend assistance in mainstreaming public service. Our institution must continue to stand as one for the values that we have inculcated. For the past 115 years, we have exemplified our quest for truth, excellence, equity, relevance, effectiveness, integrity, and academic freedom. Lastly, I call upon each and everyone to join me in this journey. Together we stand as one para sa sintang paaralan para sa ating bayan.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our afternoon session of the iTech webinar series entitled Promoting Gender Equality in Technical Vocational Education and Training. Now, and reminder sa mga students po natin, if in case wala pa po yung mga classmates ninyo, please remind them to enter in our Zoom meeting, or they can also watch this webinar series on our YouTube live stream. Once again, please be reminded of our house rules. Please make sure to mute your microphone and turn off your video upon entering the webinar session. Please ensure to have a stable internet connection. Participants are encouraged to rename themselves as follows: your course and your full name for students. If you have questions, you can type your questions in the Zoom chat box and YouTube comment box, and that questions will be answered at the end of each speaker's discussion. And evaluation link will be posted after the last speaker of this session in the Zoom chat box and YouTube comment box. Reminder as well to our participants na ngayon lang po pumasok, please don't forget to register using the same registration link that we provided earlier. And yung mga technical team po natin, they will post those registration links if in case hindi pa po kayo nakakapag-register. Don't forget to register po, and kasabi lang po natin, reminder to please make sure na nakamute po ang ating microphone. Yan, and be mindful of the background noises. Maraming salamat po. And yeah, we are also live on our YouTube live stream, PUP Institute of Technology. And wag na po nating patagalin pa. Without further ado, let's continue to our afternoon session. Allow me to introduce our second resource speaker for today. Our second resource speaker graduated as a cum laude with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering here in PUP. She also earned units in Master of Science major in Structural Engineering from the University of the Philippines, and she finished her Master of Science in Engineering major in Structural here in our Sintang Paaralan as well. She is a seasoned engineer with lots of working experience from different employers such as Meralco Industrial Services Corporation, PGCI Engineers, PC Arojado and Associates, Bonsal Steel Corporation, Arojado V. Pantelon Builders Corporation, and she is also a faculty member of the PUP Civil Engineering Department. A member of the Codes Committee for the National Structural Code of the Philippines 2001, Volume 1, Buildings, Towers, and Other Vertical Structures, a member of the Philippine Association of Institutional Research, a registered civil engineer and a structural engineer. To discuss with us the topic Women in Construction, Gender Equality in Engineering, let us all welcome and give her a round of applause, Engineer Edna P. Arojado. Good afternoon po, Engineer.
Yeah, good afternoon sa bawat isa na kasama natin ngayon, to everyone attending this webinar, sa lahat ng students, good afternoon, and even to our dean kung later ay will tune in or naka-tune in ang ating mga heads ng ating college, sa College of Information Technology, sa ating department. Ayan, and to everyone who is now participating this webinar, magandang hapon sa bawat isa. Nung ako'y, siguro I would like to start with this short testimony bago ako mag-proceed with my topic. Nung ako ay kinausap to discuss about gender equality, medyo nag-hesitant ako. Sabi ko, teka lang, medyo parang broad yung topic. I could not, baka hindi ko kakayanin, no? Pero nung sabi niya, we would like to introduce yung gender equality, or we want to promote the gender equality even in construction and even engineering. So doon ko na-realize, okay, I am a civil engineer at ako ay female and I work in the industry for how long? So sabi ko siguro, ito ay one factor that I could share para ma-promote natin yung gender equality or ma-promote din natin yung diversity dito sa atin sa engineering. So naisip ko, maybe I am not the best person, or maybe there's someone better than me to speak about it. Pero siguro I will try my best to give you some informations or some ideas or thoughts that will help you sa mga estudyante para makita natin na open pala tong field na to at pwede rin palang mag-excel kahit na yung mga babae. Meron naman palang fairness at meron din naman palang opportunity. So siguro yun yung aking kasi when I asked about the objective of the talk, medyo nagkaroon ako ng a little bit idea na okay, so exciting din na ma-promote natin. So the need, lalo na sa panahon ngayon. So even siguro, kung siguro mayroon tayong nakikinig dito na they are in the industry, maaring sila yung mga supervisors, sila yung mga managers, sila yung mga head sa site o kaya sa field. Siguro maganda rin na minsan meron din tayong I hope makapag-contribute or makapag-open ng mind. Meron kasi ako nabasa as I undergo, as I goes with the study nung ako ay nabigyan ng opportunity to speak. Then nabasa ko yung isang literature, sabi niya sa kanila sa US, dumating na yung point na parang madami na yung the other one, yung black compare sa white, kasi nagkaroon ng issue yan dati, majority sa kanila sa workforce nila yung white. Tapos dumating yung panahon na madami na yung black na ay sinisilang in compare with the white. So sabi niya darating ang panahon, kapag hindi natin i-open sa kanila at hindi tayo magiging diverse or hindi tayo mag-open ng ganitong opportunity, mauubusan tayo. Siguro dito ko na-relate na okay, kung hindi natin to promote sa mga women, no, hindi naman din natin control kung ano yung gender or ano yung ano ng tao. So darating nga panahon, paano nga naman kung pagkaroon ng shortage. Pero hindi naman tayo aabot sa ganun, pero siguro in just an idea na talagang we need, no, yung diversity na narinig ko kahapon, I also attended, no, yung field na dapat magkaroon tayo ng openness sa variety. Kasi nakakatulong ito, yung practice or quality of including or involving people from a range of different social and ethnic backgrounds and of different genders, sexual orientations, and so on, no? Maganda rin. Kasi bakit? Yung diversity in engineering, so sa bawat isa na estudyante ngayon, maaaring sa inyo, ang iba will proceed with this field, no, maaring pinipili or nasa decision making kayo. So yung diversity in engineering means, no, yung engaging the best minds of the profession. So regardless of kahit na babae sila o kaya lalaki sila or indigenous sila, no, hindi dapat katulad din kanina nung natuwa ako doon na narinig ko rin, no, yung how they hire people, they consider, no, yung ganitong different status, different genders, and giving this equal opportunity sa bawat isa. Siguro maaari sa panahon natin ngayon, di pa natin nakikita yung gusto nating makitang stage of equality, pero as we promote, napakaganda ng purpose ng webinar series na to, that is to promote, no, yung ating tinatawag na gender equality that will help, no, our fields ng ating kinalalagyan. Hindi iisang field na nangangailangan nito, but all fields, no? Lalo na din dito sa atin sa engineering. Kasi pag sinabing diverse yung team mo, di ba? Better team yon. They are more effective teams. Kapag solving kinds of complex problems, kapag pinag-uusapan natin, kapag may problema, iba yung maraming different minds ang panggagalingan. Iba't ibang character, iba't ibang strength, iba't ibang weaknesses. Mas makakabuo ng isang, sabihin natin na better or best, no, na solution sa bawat situation. So parang gusto ko mag-example. Kaming mag-asawa, parehas kaming engineer. So siya lalaki siya, iba yung point of view niya as lalaki. Ako naman as engineer na babae, but we enter into construction. So tumarating yung time na yung idea kahit na magkaiba kami ng field, mechanical engineer siya, civil engineer ako. Pag tumarating sa solution ng problem, kahit babae ako or younger ako sa kanya or greater yung experiences niya, we open, no, he open also yung ganito na. Kaya pag dumarating na maganda yung solution, di ba sabi ko sa iyo, yung mind ng dalawa is better than one, at minsan hindi mo masasabi na yung idea ng iba ay hindi magiging beneficial. Kaya nga minsan napakaganda that we open, no, mga kanya natatawag nating talents and skills, pagsamasamahin natin regardless of gender. So kaya yung habang tayo po ay nagkakaroon, no, ng yung problema, no, yung mabagal masyado actually, no, yung increase natin sa last 2 decades, only about 20% of engineering graduates are female. No po. So kaya ganun din sa ibang group. Kaya meron ako nabasa ng tips kung paano daw natin to masolusyonan at ma-promote at saka magkaroon tayo ng magandang result pagdating sa diversity in engineering. One is promoting. No? Kaya nung binigyan ako ng opportunity, nung una hesitant ako, pero nung as I go into study of it, sabi ko, okay, so meron pala din kaming dapat role na gawin. As faculty, maganda that you speak to your students, babae man, lalaki man, you could lay down to them yung opportunities na pwede nilang tahakin or pwede nilang sundan. Ganon din naman sa field. Nabanggit kanina ng ating nag-introduce ng sa akin. So I just want to yung kanyang nabanggit. Totoo na from my beginning 1994, I started as an engineer in the field, no. Yan yung aking unang work. At ang nakakatuwa, ang unang job ko, naalala ko, na nung nag-submit ako ng application, I never knew na ang hinahanap pala nila for the field is male, lalaki pala. Tapos nung as I go into the company, natanggap ako for some reasons. Nag-take ako ng exam nila, na-qualify ako. Dumating yung time na magre-resign ako for a reason din because I want another field na i-pursue or I want to pursue the field na gusto ko talaga. Isa yung nasabi sa akin ng supervisor ko. Sabi niya, alam mo ba? Sabi niya na lalaki ang pinapa-hire sa amin noon nung time na yon, pero ginustify ka namin at pinili ka namin and we trained you. Ayun, napakaganda na merong mga ganong company. Magandang makita na yung mga company would open na hindi natin alam kung ano yung pwede nating buksan. Buti hindi naging silang close-minded, naging open sila. And then that's my first, yan yung aking unang trabaho na kahit pala lalaki yung hinahanap, natanggap ako for reason of na-open sila na hindi naman sila kailangan maging strict na dapat lalaki lang doon sa field. At yung field na yon hindi lang siya office work. I go into field. Pumupunta kami para mag-scout kami ng mga water resources para sa electricity. So i-apply ko yung aking pinag-aralan pagdating sa fluids at saka sa hydraulics. So pagdating doon, yun yung unang job ko because that was my dream nung mag-aaral pa lang ako. Makita ko yung application noon at maganda kasi merong tao na sila ganito. Kaya maganda rin na promote natin. We also give idea sa mga tao. So kaya kung tatanungin niyo ako kung ako bilang engineer ay nagtrabaho lang ba ako sa office? No. Naging project engineer ako, naging designer ako, naging consultant ako, naging inspector ako. Nakaakyat ako ng bundok para mag-inspect. Nakaakyat ako ng mga building para mag-inspect ng bubuhusan na. Nagmamadali, 100 days lang yung construction. At ako as a structural engineer, I go into personal inspection. Nagtrabaho ba ako ng araw lang? No. Kahit gabi, hating gabi, nandun ako for inspection kasi magbubuhos na. So, nasa ground lang ba yung trabaho? No. Kahit na nasa taas, aakyat ng ladder, sasakay sa open na elevator. Pero ang maganda, sa ganitong area, maganda pala na ma-realize natin, it's not just about me. It is about the people around na nag-open ng opportunity. Naging open sila para magbigay ng opportunity, an equal opportunity sa tao, ano man ang gender, ano man ang status, kaya napakaganda. Pero bago tayo magtuloy, I just want to share this, yung na-prepare kong trivia or a sort of information. Alam ba natin na si Archimedes of Syracuse, siya pala yung una na pwede nating tanghalin o kilalanin na masasabi natin in the field of civil engineering. Before the term civil engineering even had meaning, si Archimedes of Syracuse was paving the way for generations, that followed him. He invested the compound pulley. Hanggang ngayon, ginagamit natin yan, which turned out to be one of the most important inventions in history, and also developed engineering principles for fluid displacement. That was 287 to 212 BC. Ganun na katagal. Si John Smith naman, siya naman ang tinatawag natin the first man to call himself a civil engineer, self-proclaimed, sabi ng iba. He began as an instrument maker. His design of Eddystone Lighthouse, that was 1956 to 1959, with its interlocking masonry, was based on a craftsman's experience. So, ito ay isang sa atin. Kahit ako na civil engineer, ay natuwa ako nung makita ko to. Pero I would like to share also yung women. Si Edith Clark, so is the very first female engineer, Born in 1883, she created the Clark calculator for graphing electrical properties. She used her from her parents to attend college and study mathematics. She created the Clark calculator after graduating. Before the problems were solved manually, her inventions, hanggang ngayon po, nakakatulong to sa atin, a lot of time and effort. No, despite her talents, it took her several attempts to finally be hired at General Electric to eventually become the first female engineer. So, makikita po natin dito, no? So, yung opportunity, pag binigay mo, makakapag-unlock ka, mga bagay na maa-amaze ka, no? Yung palang nag-create ng calculator natin ay makikita mo ay isang babae. So makikita natin dito si Julia Morganin, no, ng 1894. Siya naman, no, mechanical engineer, no, in profession. Kakatawa. Kasi tinanong ko yung husband ko as mechanical engineer. Sabi ko, meron ka bang classmate? Nung pinag-aaralan ko to, may classmate ka bang babae? Nung nag-aaral ka sa mechanical? Sabi niya, wala. Okay. Kasi na mag-aaral ako, may civil engineering students na mga babae. So kami group, no? 10 kami. So in our section, so 10 out of 50. So parang ganon. So hanggang ngayon naman na ako ay faculty, nakikita ko na madami pa rin, no, na mga babae. At ngayon nakita ko na meron ng babaeng mechanical engineering students at merong mga babaeng nag-e-excel kahit doon. Tapos ang nabasa ko to, sabi ko talaga, siya pala yung una na nag-involve kasi akala ko lately lang merong nag-involve sa mechanical engineering. Makikita mo dito, nag-aral siya ng mechanics, no, degree in engineering. Naging architect pa siya. She became an architect who designed more than 700 buildings in California. That was 1876, no? Titignan natin. So, makikita natin dito, maging si Elizabeth Bragg, no? 1876. Siya naman yung woman na nag-receive ng bachelor's degree in engineering, no? First woman na nag-receive ng bachelor's degree in engineering. She earned her degree in civil engineering, the University of California. Ang nakakalungkot lang, siya yung first civil engineer na nagkaroon ng degree, kaya lang she was a stay-at-home wife and mother. He never worked as a professional engineer. We do not know why. Kasi alam naman natin, nung mga mas naunang panahon, sa culture, ang mga babae will take care of their children. Kapag syempre walang mag-aalaga, baka hindi natin alam. I do not want to speculate the reason, pero siya yon, pero hindi niya to na-work. No? Pero si Julia naman, nakita natin bilang babae, nag-excel naman siya, nakapagtatlo pa siya kasi from a degree in engineering, naging architect siya, naging mechanical. So, hindi natin to mako-confine into one, parang hindi natin makakategorize. Every person has a strength, every person has a weakness, every person has his own desire or her own desire na kung ano yung tatahakin niya, kung ano yung gagawin niya, kung paano siya, paano niya mapupulfill, no? Oh, I'm sorry. Kanina pa ba ako? I am not sharing my screen. Okay, sorry. Okay, so, yan. I'm sorry for the interruption. Kanina pa pala ako, I did not notice agad na hindi pa pala ako nakapag-share screen. So I'm talking with these people, no? Giving you an idea and opening your mind na men, women could excel in the field na meron na ibibigay sa kanilang opportunity. Kaya I would like to go into this, yung data na to. Because I am discussing women in construction, gender equality in engineering, I would like to give an idea on this, no? It is estimated that women perform 2/3, sabi ng isang nabasa ko, no, of the world's work, yet they only earn 1/10 of the income and own less than 1% of the world's property. More than 110 million of the world's children, 2/3 of them are girls, are not in the school. Only 17% of the world's elected government leaders are women. More than 80% of the world's 35 million refugees and displaced people are women and children. I want to go with this because we are discussing gender equality. So in a short review, it is a state of equal is of access to resources and opportunities regardless of gender, including economic participation and decision-making. A state of valuing different behaviors, aspirations, and needs equality, regardless of gender. Nung ako'y kinausap to speak, naalala ko na ako rin pala ay nag-speak one time about gender equality, pero ito ay with a community service sa iHealth, no? So naalala ko na, oo nga, nag-speak pala ako, pero it's about no, yung role ng mother sa bahay kasi it is in the iHealth or the FTS or doon po sa ating mga pantawid pamilya. Nag-discuss ako. Then I took just this, etong few items na to. I just would like to share and to have a sort of information. Meron tayong manifestations of gender bias, no? Ito yung mga factors, no, na nakasulat dito. Yung vow or yung violence against women, yung stereotypes, yung marginalization, yung tinatawag na yung multi-burden, tapos yung subordination. So just briefly, no, gusto kong mag-sidesway ng konti dito para mabigyan natin ng idea bakit we need to promote and we need to open up minds about promoting the gender equality. So yung sa marginalization, it is about non-valuation and undervaluation of women's work. Yung minsan ay naliles no yung opportunity sa kanila ng compensation, so or salaries or medyo na-judge agad, no, o kaya hindi nabibigyan ng magandang opportunity or hindi na o-open yung magandang opportunity. Unequal pay for work of equal value. Tapos yung last to be hired but first to be fired, yung unequal opportunities, no, for women, exacting sexual favors, women have less access to and control over resources and benefits. So ito yung isa sa mga factor na nagkakaroon ng bias, no, yung tinatawag na manifestation of gender bias. Tapos another one, yung violence, no, against women in the field or in the area or in the state of psychological, emotional, physical, economic, and sexual. So sa engineering, because the field, no, pagdating na sa field, medyo may nabasa ako na medyo kasi syempre yung lugar, no, is medyo ang hazard ay naroon. Tapos isa sa nabasa ko, lahat ng mga tools, lahat ng mga equipments, lahat ng mga safety ng field of engineering naka-design pang lalaki. Kaya tuloy nahihirapan, no, yung technology natin, yung mga natin, yung mga machines, no, naka-design sila ng panglalaki kaya tuloy nahihirapan sa nakaka-apekto. Pero dito yung sa economic, sa physical, tapos yung area, no, yung area ng work, no, yung open ito sa maraming tao. So pero maganda ngayon ang mga construction site, kompleto yan ng safety and health at saka may mga security guards para yung babae man, yung mga nagwo-work doon, merong safe place, opening the safe place for everyone, hindi lang kasi pag lalaki kaya niyang iniisip agad natin kaya niyang ipaglaban yung kanyang mga sarili, ang kanilang sarili. Pag babae baka paano pag na-assign paggabi, 'di ba? Paano pag ang assignment niya ng site inspection dahil minsan ganun talaga sa construction. paano kung ang kanyang, so medyo sometimes siguro yon tama o pumapasok yung biases kapag naisip mo na yon, pero siguro we just need to adjust para ma-open natin yung equal opportunity. Meron din tayong baguhin sa ating technology, sa system natin, sa ating mga offer. Tapos next one is yung subordination, yung higher positions for men, higher regard for men's status in society, men's decisions are generally followed. Pagka sila yung nag-decide, yun. So medyo nakakapasok yun. So, pero kapag ikaw ay the same field at alam mo yung gagawin, kahit anong gender, they will follow, no? Kapag tama at mas mabuti yung iyong So, siguro kailangan ma-open lang yung mind. Nasubukan ko na nasa isang nasa isang construction site management, pero ang kaharap mo puro lalaki, ako lang yung babae, the rest are men, no? Ang architect, ang ibang engineering, electrical, lahat sila lalaki, ako lang yung babae. Pero dumarating yung time kapag alam nila na yung idea mo, yung thought mo, yung pinaglalaban mo, yung bino-brought out mo is correct. Kahit naman lalaki sila at mas matanda sila, yun yung nasubukan ko. They will follow. No, nakakalabas na tayo doon kasi sa ganon habang pinopromote natin, no? Habang tayo nag-open up, habang tayo ay nagbibigay ng mga ganitong informations and also thoughts, na-open ng madami na we need also yung listening to others regardless of gender, status, or whatever. The other one, nagkakaroon ng biases yung multiple burden, no? Kasi reality ito, yung child rearing, ang duty ng mga babae yon, yung housework, expected babae yon, yung magliligpit, magluluto, maglalaba, expected yon, maglilinis ng bahay, so then you have an office work. Tapos isa pa, malaking tulong sa mga babae sa community work. So yung multiple burden. And sometimes na-judge kapag halimbawa nag-asawa na yung empleyado, iisipin ng mababawasan yung time niya, he could not go with this, hindi na siya pwedeng mag-overtime, may anak na to, may asawa na to. Minsan pumapasok yung ganong biases, no? Bumapasok yung ganong thought na pagka mag-hire. Pero may mga open-minded naman, nakakatuwa lang, may mga tao na they also adjust para lamang sa benefit ng marami at para they are more sabihin natin na mas nag-iisip sila doon sa result o kaya yung magiging product o kaya yung magiging outcome. So kaya kahit na regardless of kung anong situation, babae man yung engineer, may asawa man na, may anak man na, so tinitignan nila how they could open the opportunity. So ako siguro I could testify on that on one company na nabanggit kanina na aking pinagtrabahuhan. I resigned doon, siguro 2 years na ako naka-resign. Nung tinatawagan nila ako ulit to go back. Nung mag-resign ako, ayaw nila akong payagan, pero because of some reasons I have in my career choice, nung nagre-resign ako after 2 years, natawagan ako, it is a big company, a design and consultancy company. Tapos tinawagan ako ng aming head. Sabi niya, Edna, bumalik ka. Sabi ko, sir, hindi ko na po kakayanin. Pagdating kasi sa construction and engineering, alam natin yon. Open tayo doon, may mga deadlines, may mga rush, mga natrabaho, mag-overnight, walang uwian, kahit Pasko na minsan, pag deadline. So nasubukan ko naman din talaga yon. Tapos nang dumating yung time na yon, nakakatuwa, sabi ko, sir, hindi na po ako pwede na katulad ng dati. Kasi po hindi na ako pwede mag-overtime ng hanggang hating gabi. May anak na po kasi ako and I need to take care. Ang maganda, sabi niya, Edna, bumalik ka, ay the head position ay nakaantay sa'yo. Sabi niya, we could adjust the time. Pwede kang umuwi sa oras na gusto mo kung kailangan mo nang umuwi. Just supervise the design team. So pwede ka ding pumasok ng late. sabi ko may mga taong open para lamang ma-accept din nila yung mga weaknesses, yung mga differences. So ito sana yung patuloy nating promote sa madami, na hindi natin nililimit on the situation kundi tinitingnan natin. So nag-a-adjust din, meron ding adjustment na ginagawa for the sake, no, na open tayo. Pero yung work na yun, hindi ko na din talaga tinanggap. Sabi ko, sir, sorry. Maganda po yung offer nyo at natutuwa ako na 2 years na po ako wala sa company pero hinanap nyo pa ako. Pero po talagang meron na po akong bagong, so hindi ko naranasan yung bias on that. Naranasan ko yung open ng opportunity. Ako na yung nag-decide to myself kung bakit ko pinili yung home-based work. So makikita natin dito yung gender stereotype, no, na sinasabi, yung naka-fix, tapos yung unequal beliefs, yung image na kine-carry na kapag engineer, pag sa site dapat lalaki, dapat matipon, dapat ang makakapagpasunod lang yung medyo malakas ang boses, minsan ganun no? Kapag mag-hire, teka, sa site engineer ko to ilalagay, teka, dapat medyo makitang medyo ang katawan ay ganito, malakas ang boses. Minsan naka tayo, kaya tuloy nagkakaroon tayo ng limitations sa field, no? At sayang kung masasayang natin yung mga talents na meron dun sa tao, na babae man siya, or ito man yung status niya, or ito man yung gender preference niya. So, masasayang kapag hindi tayo magiging open. At sa atin sa mga estudyante, no, huwag tayong matakot to go into, kasi ang society dahan-dahang magiging open. Sabi ko nga kanina, nabasa ko ng 1970, mga 3% lang ang mga civil engineers or engineers, no, na babae. Hindi ko maalala kung particularly civil or engineers, no. So, pero dumating na yung panahon na this time nasa mga 15 to 20% na. Lumalaki naman, pero syempre kukunti pa lang din yon ng percentage. Kaya kung makikita nyo, ito ay nakita ko sa isang study, no, na magkakaiba ng field ay makikita natin on how, no, yung gaano kadami yung babae sa ganitong field at gaano kadami yung lalaki. At makikita natin pagdating sa engineering, sa construction, so makikita natin nasa 15% lang siya. No, as according to by Sharon Walker, nabasa ko, as mentioned, yung future engineering depends on a more diverse workforce for a number of reasons, no. Kailangan pagdating sa innovation and talent, yun yung mga yung mga bagay na dapat nating so pagdating sa profit, pagdating sa shifting demographics for the fair treatment. So without efforts to diversity and indeed change its overall perception, yung engineering profession or yung sa construction will considerably maglalak ng growth and innovation. Ako po may tatanong, no, I just want, medyo baka mabilis ako at saka baka masyado na akong tuloy-tuloy, okay lang ba? So I just would like to ask, no, yung ating audience could react. Sino po sa inyo may kakilalang na babae na nagwo-work into construction, no? Na alam niya, engineer or hindi man engineer pero nagwo-work in the construction, yung nasa field mismo. So hindi rin naka-base lang sa office na wala doon sa site. Meron ba? Meron ba sa atin yung kakilala niya? So I know we have a lot of participants na nandito. Dito sa chat box, we have 288. Pwede bang pakitype ng 1 kapag you know somebody na babae siya pero nasa nasa field siya, no? Nasa work siya ng construction. Ayan, ang dami. So madami din, so we have this nagre-response yung ating mga So kasunod akong tanong, sino sa atin ang nakakakilala ng engineer, yung may kakilala siyang engineer pero hindi niya nakitang nag-apply ng kanyang career sa field or sa engineering or sa construction. Can you type 2? No, yung alam niya pero napunta siya sa sales, napunta siya doon sa ibang field, no? So, hindi siya sa construction. Engineer siya, graduate siya, licensed siya, pero hindi siya doon sa field, no? Hindi siya doon sa mismong construction ng building. So, madami din, ano? So, makikita natin dito na sabi ni Professor Graham Schaffer ng University of Melbourne, sabi niya, women are underrepresented in areas of engineering due to lack of role models and a lack of other women, no? Kasi walang masyadong nakikita. I would testify, no? Kaya ako napili yung engineering. Hindi nagbago yung isip ko mula nung ako'y elementary, high school. Siguro hindi ko ma-exactong elementary grade 6, ganon. Basta nandun na sa heart ko, namili ako maging teacher, maging architect, maging civil engineer. So ano po ang naging role model ko? Kapitbahay po namin ng DPWH. Tapos may kantin po ang nanay ko. So nakikita ko po yung pumapasok ng mga engineers doon sa kantin, babae, lalaki. Tapos nung una sabi ko, nung pangarap ko na mas bata ako, sabi ko, I want to be a teacher. So, tapos sumunod na medyo mahilig kasi ako sa art, sabi ko maging architect ako. Tapos makita ko sila, ay gusto ko maging civil engineer. Hanggang hindi na yung nagbago, mayroon akong nakita, naging role model ako. So nakikita ko sila, tapos bata pa ako, tapos pupunta sila. Kasi katabi lang namin DPWH. So nakita ko yung mga babaeng engineer at medyo sabihin ko na lang na parang nakapagbigay yun sa akin ng inspiration para dito pumunta sa field na to. Mayroon kasi ako nabasa, sabi niya, we do not just encourage people to go into engineering because they are good in math, because they're good in science. So they will not able to excel. Kailangan encourage natin sila to go into it, kahit babae sila or lalaki sila, because they want it. They want the job. They want to be that one. Kailangan, gusto mo kasing maging ikaw yon. Kaya maganda yon. So, yung purpose of engineering as in principally a service profession. No? Alam natin, hindi matatayo ang isang building ng isang tao. It needs a lot of people. Mula doon sa design engineer, project engineer, sa inspector, consultant, and designer, and then hanggang doon sa workforce, lead man, hanggang sa madami. No? At maganda na sa construction, diverse din, madami. We open na yung babae at lalaki na pwedeng maging involved. Now, sabi niya dito, engineers do this by designing, building, operating, and maintaining the artificial to achieve this effectively. Para ma-achieve effectively, the makeup of engineering workforce must reflect the society it seeks to serve. Kailangan hindi siya nakabase kung ano ang kalakasan ng lalaki, kalakasan ng babae. Ang tinitignan mo is to involve in every team yung kailangan mo, the mind that you need, the power that you need, the energy that you need, that you will able to give and to serve yung society, yung clients mo, yung tao na kailangan mong alam mo minsan may mga aspeto na why the mind of girls or the women are important also pagdating sa designing, sa engineer. Because ang kliyente mo is not always men. Ang mag-o-occupy ng iyong gagawin or ang gagamit nito ay hindi lahat lalaki. So you need yung tinatawag na equal opportunity para mabigay mo yung best na result ng service na hinihingi sa'yo. So I would go or I would like to discuss a little bit of the gender equality law ng 2011. So the gender equality law 2011 seeks to eliminate discriminate in employment, training and recruitment on the basis of sex, marital status, pregnancy, or gender, and to promote the payment of equal remuneration to male and female employees who perform work of equal value. So sabi sa Republic Act number 97110, the Magna Carta of Women is comprehensive women's human rights law that seeks to eliminate discrimination against women by recognizing, protecting, fulfilling, and promoting the rights of Filipino women, especially those in marginalized sector. Alam nyo, nakakatuwa na meron tayo nito to protect everyone, no? To protect each one, to protect, no, yung bawat isa. Pero we promote, no, we open. Meron akong isang nakuha, kung paano sinasabi, kinikwento ko sa akin, walang masyado ako naranasan na parang hindi ako nabigyan ng opportunity kasi babae ako. So, pero reality, may mga reality sa ibang tao na they have experienced it at gusto ko din naman maging open then ito sa inyo. So I would not just like to testify of my own, no, dahil ako'y nakaranas ng openness, nakaranas ako ng open yung field sa akin, nakaranas ako na inaccept ako ng aking mga kasamahan sa team, sa work, as a work member, as a partner doon sa ginagawa. Pero gusto ko rin maging open tayo sa katotohanan. So ayoko din namang itago ito na ito yung totoo na mayroong mga tao magte-testify din naman, nakaranas din naman sila ng ganito. And I would just like to start with yung shortage natin ng women in civil engineering and rail. So both engineering and the railway industry have a shortage of women in the ranks and are struggling to attract more women into what have traditionally been male-dominated fields. So ang problem, engineering require long hours, shift work, and a degree of physical strength. So that's true. Kaya kanina, di ba sinasabi ko nga sa inyo, ito yung maliban talaga na magkaroon talaga ng may mga tao kasi pagka babae ka, you take care. Hindi naman pwede ring mawala ng babae sa bahay who will take care of the family, the children. So the need, pero kung gusto nating magbigay ng opportunity, magbigay din tayo ng adjustment, no, sa atin para ma-open natin yung mas magandang opportunity. I am maybe talking to some yung ating mga kasamahan na mga makikita ay mga own a company, employers sila, managers sila, supervisors sila. And to our students, no, ito yung mga nawo-work out, no, ng mga bagay na when you enter in, wag ito agad yung nasa isip mo. Siguro ako nung pumasok ako sa engineering, hindi ko agad naisip na hala, pag engineer ako baka hindi naman agad nagpasok sa isip ko yung ganon. So I just pursue yung dream, parang ganon. So and then I find out na open naman yung field. Marami namang area na open. So hindi ko lang siguro nakatagpo yung mga naging close, no? Pero sa akin as a testimony ay naging open naman. Kaya nga sabi ko kahit yung require long hours ay nag-a-adjust for me para lamang maging involved ako sa team. So they do not look onto the hours of work, they look onto maybe sa maari kong ma-contribute in some areas. Siguro yan ang naging consideration ng aking boss. So makikita natin sa rail industry fail to promote the many opportunities it can offer in women in areas other than becoming engine drivers or platform conductors. Pero may mga nakita naman ako na natutuwa ako yung aking mga estudyante na graduate. Nasa ibang bansa sila, yung iba nasa Singapore. Babae sila, pero nakikita ko sila sa field. So nakikita ko sila, nandun sila on site. So makikita naman natin na we are changing. Pero sabi sa Australian Railway Association, so states that improve diversity of thought leads to better business outcomes, enhance company culture, and improve workforce behavior, being just some of the opportunities offered by a more gender balanced workforce. It is not just us hindi lang tayo, hindi lang mga faculty, hindi lamang mga ilang tao ang naggusto ma-promote ito. Because we know na mas madaming opportunities offered, magkakaroon ng more balanced workforce. Alam natin mag-i-enhance yun ng improvement o greater outcome sa company. Ito yung sabi ng Australian Railway Association. Yung stats, kung titignan natin, apart from Europe and some Middle Eastern countries, the global statistics for gender equality aren't inspiring. Only around 7% of females in the UK are in engineering and 5% in rail. So kaya siguro na advice ako ni Sir ni Sir Kenneth na I would share para mag-attract din tayo ng mga male or female na mga enrollees kahit nasa engineering kasi we need to open up para mas marami tayong better outcome sa field. There's a clear gender pay gap in engineering with males earning an average salary of $113 $1,000 compared with 101 for females. Sabi yan doon sa 2017 survey. Tapos sabi ng Chief Scientist Office, a new report by the Office of the Chief Scientist has found that of the 2.3 million STEM qualified Australians, only 16% are female, and engineering shows the largest gender gap. Hindi ko masyadong nakuha yung sa Pilipinas because I'm looking for that, Hindi ko siya nakuha, bear with me with that, na hindi ko siya na-i-present sa inyo. Pero siguro sa experiences na lang, sa amin, sa mga companies na napuntahan ko, siguro sa field, sa design, sa management, sa consultancy, lagi namang may babae. Pero syempre, laging mas madami yung lalaki. So discrimination against women in the field of engineering, gusto ko ding ma-open din sa atin to open up our mind, kung tayo yung mga tao na responsible para hindi ito mangyari, o kaya naman tayo mga tao na dapat umiwas sa mga ganito. Let us just talk about of their own maybe experience nila or observation nila. Tingnan na lang natin, Sabi ni Jennifer Hunt, a lack of mentoring and networks or discrimination by managers and co-workers are the more promising of the existing explanations for excess female exits. Yun daw yung problema. Pero sa akin, in my experience, nung ako ay umalis sa first job ko, I was trained. Hindi ako umalis because hindi ako nabigyan ng opportunity. Nagkataon lang, talagang ang aking dream ay structural engineering. At ang first job ko ay we go into water resources. At gusto ko rin yun kasi gusto ko makita yung application ng hydraulics at saka ng fluids. So we are connected ng sa Meralco para maghanap ng paano makapag-supply ng mas mura na electricity, pumupunta sa mga streams, naghahanap ng mga rivers, ng mga potential for hydraulic power. So, pero na-train ako, kaya nung magre-resign ako, sabi ng aking supervisor, sabi niya, why are you resigning? Meron akong 2 kasabay na kasama, lalaki sila, pero nung mag-resign sila pinigilan. Nung ako magre-resign, pinipigilan ako. Tapos sabi ni Sir sa akin, why you are resigning? Alam mo ba na pinagtanggol kita and we trained you? You are on the, nandoon ka na. So, hindi ko naman to naranasan. May mga open naman, may mga company naman na they give training talaga para pwede kahit babae na mag-lead at pwedeng babae ma-promote at ang pwedeng babae na ma-elevate ang kanyang position. So, women had, experiences in a more female-heavy field were more likely to leave a male-dominated field after trying it out. Yun, medyo mahirap din kasi kapag yung mga ganitong trabaho. Kaya minsan, ang sabi nga, yung technology kasi natin minsan, naka-design siya dun sa strength ng mag-ooperate. Lalaki ang tinitignan. So, kaya pumapasok tayo sa ganitong problem. So yung stereotypes and bias, most of us carry prejudices. Yon, kanina na-discuss ko na to, yung kung ano na yung naka-mindset, kung ano na yung ano natin kapag ka field dapat lalaki, kapag office dapat babae. So minsan naka-ano tayo doon, naka-link o kaya naka-attach, no? So sabi ni Jones, Raff and Parity, 2013, that the culture of engineering departments and negative stereotypes of women's engineering and mathematical ability have been identified as factors that inhibit women's entry into engineering and cause them to leave the major. So mga mga experiences nila. So sa akin naman until now at my age, so from 1994 until now at my age, I'm still involved in the industry for consultancy because I am a teacher, no? Pero dahil sa experience, you could still go into yung consultancy basis, nakakapag-akyat pa din ako ng ongoing na pouring, nakakababa ako dun sa malalim na hukay to check kung tama yung nilagay nilang bakal bago mo ito and sometimes it's the decision ng tao kung gusto niya, pwede naman niyang iutos yun sa project engineer niya. Uso na ngayon, pipicturean lang ko communicate, pero depende, minsan may mga situation na ako mismo I go into it on myself, lalo na pag ako yung designer, I personally supervise, lalo na pag foundation. Lalo na yung mga heavy foundation, I personally go, hindi ako basta, siguro kanya-kanyang decision yun. Pero as a woman, hindi yun naging limitation sa akin and the opportunity opens. Kaya siguro, I would not be biased. Hindi ko naman pinopromote na, ayoko maging bias, mga lalaki, mga babae. Lahat naman tayo ay open. I just want na maging open din tayo, na pwede tayo, mga babae na nandito, kung pangarap nyo maging engineer, pangarap nyo ang trabaho nyo will be, may mga welder na tayong babae, di ba? Ang isang comment na narinig ko, magaling sila doon sa mga mabusisi, kasi ang kamay ng babae ay iba, ang pulso ng babae ay iba. So may mga strength na makikita natin, yung mga mahirap i-welding, na dapat ay pinong-pino or napakaganda daw ng pulso ng babae. May naringgan ako niyan. So, ibig sabihin, you can open the opportunity, women, pwede tayong mag-pursue ng ating career in engineering and railway industry. Meron akong, sa isang nabasa ko, sabi niya, the not so fragile gender. Women have already proven to be capable of doing much more than they expected. They are able to do many things at the same time with great quality. They also contribute to the team in many perspectives, from organization to personal care. So, ito yung isang comment doon, Ito yung sabi doon sa isang nabasa ko. Mamaya bibigay ko sa inyo references ng aking mga nakuhanan. So, nowadays, many big companies are looking for young women engineers for training and further management positions. Kaya, although pinakita ko sa inyo yung mga experiences ng iba na may mga biases, so makita din naman natin yung positive side na na-open na tayo para dito, para ma-promote lalo yung ating gender equality at ma-promote din natin yung opportunities for women even dito sa ating field of construction. At ito, kanina pinakita doon sa una kong pinakita na mas higher yung rate nung sa mga lalaki, pero it is one of the best paid jobs in the world with an average of sa na lang yan, So hindi ko na yan titignan sa ibang bansa, yan sa Pilipinas ay hindi ko nakuha. Civil engineering profession is one of the best paid worldwide. Women can show off with their high salaries in the engineering field, being among the top 3 best paying jobs for women in 2017. So maaring ikaw, you are the key they miss. It is not just about gender diversity, but the fact that women offer and contribute to the team from different perspectives, thus making the team stronger and better posed to completing the project on time and on budget. On my experience, as an employer, so may strength ang mga lalaki, may strength yung mga babae. Oh, may mga na handle ako na nakita ko kung paano ka-diligent yung babae kong nakasama, no, na hire on a certain project, kung paano napakasinop, no. So may strength ang mga babae, may mga strength ang mga lalaki, na yung team mo kailangan mo parehas. So kailangan mo may babae doon sa team na ganito yung kanyang attitude, tapos kailangan mo din yung lalaki na ganito naman yung kanilang strength. So women are opportunity experts. He keeps witnessing women being much more strategic, focused, and with their eyes on the prize. Parang may narinig ako kanina tungkol sa kung paano ang projection ng mga babae. Na kaminsan, no, ako talaga ganon, detalyado. Yung husband ko, sasabihin niya lang doon sa tao, doon sa kanyang lead man or sa kanyang foreman, ito yung gagawin mo. Ako nagpa-follow up, sinusundan ko, dinidetalya ko, ginagawan ko ng drawing, ito yung number ng bilang, ito yung size. So bilang babae, sinusundan ko yon. Tapos sabi ko, kanina nangiti ako nung sinabi yon na yung mga babae, ganito yung kanilang minsan, yung kanilang pagtanaw. Kaya minsan, nakikita at na-appreciate, no? Kasi ang lalaki talaga, salita lang, yun na yun. Pero yung mga babae, drawing pa talaga, i-explain pa talaga. Para sa atin kasi, mas gusto natin itong maintindihan at walang error. Sa kanila naman, iba. Ang sabi nila, dapat nilang alam yan. Diba? Dapat nilang alam yan. Kasi paulit-ulit na natin ginagawa yan. So, may kanya-kanyang reason. So, kaya pagdating sa field, maganda talaga yung balance, ang workforce. Women are natural givers. Women may have a soft heart, but they are always thinking about tomorrow. By helping others and following their rules or their causes, they set achievable goals and consciously lead innovation. Meron akong isang, as we end, no, mag-e-end na ako. So did you know that the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge was completed thanks to the first field woman engineer? So as you can see, sino siya? Si Emily Warren Roebling took over his husband Washington Roebling's responsibilities as chief engineer, including day-to-day supervision and budget management, and saw out the finalization of the bridge with great dedication. May pagkakataon na hindi natin maiiwasan, no, na kailangan mag-arise ng babae to take the job, para ikaw yung kumilos. So, hindi tayo pa pwedeng, anyway, trabaho naman nila yan. Hindi ko na yan pakikialaman, hindi ko na yan pag-aaralan. So, minsan, hindi tayo pwedeng maging ganon ang mind, no? Kailangan natin kahit sa bahay, no? Mga babae, you need to know kung paano magpalit ng ilaw, ng bumbilya. No, paano pukpukin yung inyong natanggal na paa ng lamesa. O kaya paano palitan yung doorknob. May mga pagkakataon wala ang ating mga lalaki sa bahay, wala ang tatay, wala ang kuya, no? Mga bagay na let us open. Kaya naman, hindi rin limited ang world natin na nung unang panahon, limited, kailangan ito lang yung matutunan mo, ikaw ay mag-aalaga ng ganito. Pero dumating na sa panahon na kahit na magkumpuni sa bahay, magpintura ng gusto mo, mag-repair ng mga so mga maliliit na bagay yun, pero nasa field ng construction yun. And women are welcome, no, para gawin. Subukan ko na meron kaming project na ongoing. Lagi kong sinasabi, I am in the design and my husband, siya yung sa field. Pero dumating ang panahon na parehas na kaming nasa field. Kaya dati akong na-expose sa design, matas ako ma-expose sa design, na-expose ako sa field. Yung dinidesign ko, mas nakita ko na ano ang mga problema sa site kapag limited ang idea mo mag-design. Limited masyado, hindi mo nakita kung paano yung problema ng mga workforce kapag nagbe-bend sila ng bakal, pag sama-samahin nila yung bakal na magkakadikit na. So, nung una akong designer, syempre, kung ito yung lumabas sa design ko, ito yon. So, detail ko, ayos naman. Kung nasa pero nung nasa site ka na, makikita mo yung magiging problema kasi yung skilled people, sila yung magle-lay. Tapos makikita mo yung limitations, ang hirap-hirap pala. So, bilang babae, hindi naging limited yung opportunity na makita ko na ganito sa field. Dumating ang time na may project kami, ongoing ang lahat, nag-i-start, nagpo-foundation. Nagkasakit ang husband ko and he could not go to site. At nag-took over ako for that period kasi hindi talaga siya pwede, pero hindi rin pwede na hindi magpatuloy. At hindi ko rin masabi na ang susundin lang ng mga tao ay lalaki. Minsan may ganun, di ba? Na kasi susunod sila dahil lalaki yun. Pero hindi. Nung I took over, ay nakita ko na inirerespeto ng tao kapag tatayuan mo yung field mo, kung anong dapat mong ipagawa, you just do it. Makikita mo na tayo, we have open opportunities. Not because you are a woman, but because you are a team and look out for each other and the aspects of the job that you feared would require strength, just requires technique and practice. Tandaan po natin, you should do what you love and want to do. Huwag po tayong matakot mag-explore. Kung wag nating, sa panahon ngayon, we are all in this, nandito tayo sa ganitong advocacy o nandito tayo sa ganitong position na dapat pare-parehas tayong maging instrument to promote gender equality in all fields, no? Even in this field. So doesn't matter if it is difficult or what people think about it. If that is what you would like to do, you should go for it. The key for success is to be persistent. Your gender is not a hinder to your dream. So to prove that more women in the field of engineering would be beneficial to society, yung mga feminists today focus largely on issues like the wage gap and creating equality in the workplace and increasing the number of women in the field of engineering would be taking a step forward in this regard, as women are being underrepresented in the field. Pero the time has come to change the society's perception of women in science and engineering. We know, sabi ni Professor Graham Schaffer, we know that there is a long way to go, and we also know that there is no single silver bullet that we can fire that will bring about the transformation we want. Change is never easy. This change will require many simultaneous actions and sustained coordinated effort by many people. Congratulations po sa team ng webinar series na to, that we want that this gender equality will be promoted. And thank you po. And I would like to share, these are my references. God bless everyone.
All right. Thank you po for sharing the value and the advocacy of promoting gender equality in the engineering industry. It is indeed that in order for us to engineer a better society, we need people of different genders as long as we do what we love and what we want to do. Thank you for sharing to us, engineer. And now we are going to begin answering the questions from our participants. So once again, if you have questions that you wanted to ask, please feel free to put it on the Zoom chat box or in the YouTube comment section for those who are watching through our YouTube live stream. And so if may questions po kayo, please feel free to use our Zoom chat box and our YouTube comment section.
Okay, thank you, Emily Taton.
Any questions po from our 299 Zoom participants and our over 100 viewers sa ating YouTube live stream? Any questions po?
Paano kung hindi makatanggap ng confirmation sa email?
Wala pong questions? Yan, mukhang walang may gustong magtanong. Mukhang they are really overwhelmed with the topic discussed to us by engineer. Alright, none so far. Wala talagang questions. All right, so I guess everything is clear. Everything is na-discuss no ng maayos why gender equality is important in every aspect, not only in the engineering industry. So with that, if we don't have any more questions, I guess we need to proceed with the awarding of certificates. So now to present the certificate of appreciation to our resource speaker, let's call on Professor Raymond Alfonso to read to us the contents of the certificate. Good afternoon po, Sir Raymond.
Good afternoon po sa lahat. So allow me to read the content of the certificate. Republic of the Philippines, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Office of the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Institute of Technologies. This certificate of appreciation is hereby given to Engineer Edna Arojado in grateful acknowledgement of her engagement and insightful academic contribution as resource speaker with the topic Women in Construction, Gender Equality in Engineering in the webinar series Promoting Gender Equality in Technical, Vocational Education and Training via Zoom on September 14, 2021. Given this 14th day of September 2021 at the Institute of Technology, NDZ Compound, Foresta Street, Santa Mesa, Manila, Philippines. Signed by Engineer Ramir M. Cruz, Ardeen, and Emmanuel C. De Guzman, PhD, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, thank you po, sir. And once again, thank you po, engineer. And let's have a photo session po. So may I request everyone to please open your cameras sa ating mga participants in the Zoom meeting. Please open your camera and let's have a photo session with our resource speaker. Alright, sa atin pong online photographer, can you please count?
Meron po tayong 6 slides. So, first slide po. 1, 2, 3. Next slide po. 1, 2, 3. Third slide po. 1, 2, 3. Fourth slide po. 1, 2, 3. Fifth slides po. 1, 2, 3. Last slide po. 1, 2, 3. Okay na po.
All right, so once again, thank you po, engineer, for sharing your experiences with us. And yeah, while we are waiting for our next resource speaker, so once again po, reminder po to our participants to please don't forget to register using the registration link that our technical team or our organizers provided in the Zoom chat box and YouTube comment section. Yan. So habang iniintay po natin na pumasok ang ating third resource speaker, baka mayroon kayong mga gustong sabihin or comments or Baka gusto magpa-shoutout po muna tayo, ma'am. Okay. So, while we are waiting po, please stand by. And let's watch this 10 pillars of PUP.
Allow me to share with you my vision for the university. I envision PUP to become the pioneering and leading national polytechnic university in the 21st century. With a national polytechnic university status, it will bring more opportunities for the university to further strengthen its academic programs and improve organizational performance as an institution for higher education. In pursuit for this vision, my mission for PUP is for it to recognize its catalytic role for national development. PUP will ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities through a re-engineered polytechnic education. By re-engineering, we look into the existing processes and programs in order to achieve higher quality of academic programs and services following the principles of effectiveness and efficiency. With this mission in mind, I have formulated 10 pillars as my reform agenda for the university. Pillar 1. Dynamic, transformational, and responsible leadership. Empower academic and administrative leaders by following the core principles of good governance to create collective growth and unity. Here I would like to highlight an innovation by introducing the development of an integrity management plan to assess, plan, and implement anti-corruption strategies that will secure the institution against corruption and abuse. Likewise, asset management and resource generation will be aggressively pursued to ensure productivity and finance the implementation of the plans and projects for the university. Pillar 2. Responsive and innovative curricula and instruction. We aim to provide world-class polytechnic education that responds to national and global needs by developing intellectually challenging curricula and design academic programs that are based on industry demands to provide the learners with adequate and relevant competencies and skills and prepare them for a successful and rewarding careers. In a rapidly changing world, we recognize the paradigm shift in curriculum to outcome-based education with lifelong learning approach. Pillar 2 also sits on the framework of internationalization of Philippine higher education through transnational education by promoting academic mobility among faculty and students and global dimension into the curricula and teaching process. Pillar 3. Enabling and productive learning environment. Following education in Industry 4.0, we aim to increase and enhance the use of new technology to enable student learning and engagement, as well as advanced teaching process and methodology through new and state-of-the-art facilities that will support the overall learning and teaching experience in the university. Pillar 3 likewise includes campus development and the provision of conducive learning centers and facilities for students and faculty. Pillar 4. Holistic student development and engagement. We will empower students as well as rounded learners and active young leaders as we open opportunities for various academic mobility and venues for honing skills and personal development, being the principal stakeholder of the university. Recognize academic freedom as a form of self-expression and a platform to showcase students' intellect, skills, and creativity. Pillar 5. Empowered faculty members and employees. Likewise, we are looking into the holistic development of our faculty and employees as productive, competent, and experts in their respective fields. We will encourage our faculty roster through formal education, capacity building, research and extension initiatives, faculty immersion, and other academic engagements, both local and abroad. We will ensure that both our faculty and employees will have a vibrant career development path as public servants in this state university. Pillar 6. Vigorous research production and utilization. We will continue to strengthen the research culture in the university by promoting discovery and innovation through increasing disciplinary and collaborative research integration across academic disciplines to create new knowledge, utilize research findings, and develop innovative products. Pillar 7. Global academic standards and excellence. Achieve the highest levels of recognition in quality and compliance standards from CHED, AACUP, and other international accrediting and regulatory bodies for higher education. We will intensify our efforts to achieve and sustain better academic performance and continue to excel as a top-performing school in various professional licensure examinations and produce board top-notchers, as well as sustain our status of being the most preferred graduates of employers. Likewise, we aim to establish and to be recognized as centers of development and excellence in our academic programs. Pillar 8. Synergistic, productive, strategic networks and partnerships. Synergize and forge strategic linkages and partnerships across all sectors of society and the global community in line with the overall plans and programs of the university. Establish alliance with the government, industry sector, NGOs, and the academia will lead to resource sharing, program support, and research collaborations beneficial for all. Pillar 9. Active and sustained stakeholders engagement. Harness a healthy and harmonious organization by empowering all its stakeholders, both internal and external, through open communication networks, consultative and participative undertakings, and team-building activities, recognizing that all stakeholders can greatly contribute towards the betterment of the university. Pillar 10. Sustainable social development programs and projects. Expand access to education, knowledge building, and information dissemination through sharing of expertise and resources for community development. Support inclusivity approach in education by embarking on Education on Wheels, which aims to bring access to education closer to communities, following the principle of no one will be left behind. As the University of the People, we should bring the university closer to their hearts to serve their needs and extend assistance in mainstreaming public service. Our institution must continue to stand as one for the values that we have inculcated. For the past 115 years, we have exemplified our quest for truth, excellence, equity, relevance, effectiveness, integrity, and academic freedom. Lastly, I call upon each and everyone to join me in this journey. Together we stand as one para sa sintang paaralan para sa ating bayan. Allow me to share with you my vision for the university. I envision PUP to become the pioneering and leading national polytechnic university in the 21st century. With a national polytechnic university status, it will bring more opportunities for the university to further strengthen its academic programs and improve organizational performance as an institution for higher education. In pursuit for this vision, my mission for PUP is for it to recognize its catalytic role for national development. PUP will ensure inclusive and equitable quality education. and promote lifelong learning opportunities through a re-engineered polytechnic education. By re-engineering, we look into the existing processes and programs in order to achieve higher quality of academic programs and services following the principles of effectiveness and efficiency. With this mission in mind, I have formulated 10 pillars as my reform agenda for the university. Pillar 1. Dynamic, transformational, and responsible leadership. Empower academic and administrative leaders by following the core principles of good governance to create collective growth and unity. Here I would like to highlight an innovation by introducing the development of an integrity management plan to assess, plan, and implement anti-corruption strategies that will secure the institution against corruption and abuse. Likewise, asset management and resource generation will be aggressively pursued to ensure productivity and finance the implementation of the plans and projects for the university. Pillar 2. Responsive and innovative curricula and instruction. We aim to provide world-class polytechnic education that responds to national and global needs by developing intellectually challenging curricula and design academic programs that are based on industry demands to provide the learners with adequate and relevant competencies and skills and prepare them for a successful and rewarding careers. In a rapidly changing world, we recognize the paradigm shift in curriculum to outcome-based education with lifelong learning approach. Pillar 2 also sits on the framework of internationalization of Philippine higher education through transnational education by promoting academic mobility among faculty and students and global dimension into the curricula and teaching process. Pillar 3. Enabling and productive learning environment. Following education in Industry 4.0, we aim to increase and enhance the use of new technology to enable student learning and engagement, as well as advanced teaching process and methodology through new and state-of-the-art facilities that will support the overall learning and teaching experience in the university. Pillar 3 likewise includes campus development and the provision of conducive learning centers and facilities for students and faculty. Pillar 4. Holistic student development and engagement. We will empower students as well as rounded learners and active young leaders as we open opportunities for various academic mobility and venues for honing skills and personal development, being the principal stakeholder of the university. Recognize academic freedom as a form of self-expression and a platform to showcase students' intellect, skills, and creativity. Pillar 5. Empowered faculty members and employees. Likewise, we are looking into the holistic development of our faculty and employees as productive, competent, and experts in their respective fields. We will encourage our faculty roster through formal education, capacity building, research and extension initiatives, faculty immersion, and other academic engagements, both local and abroad. We will ensure that both our faculty and employees will have a vibrant career development path as public servants in this state university. Pillar 6. Vigorous research production and utilization. We will continue to strengthen the research culture in the university by promoting discovery and innovation through increasing disciplinary and collaborative research integration across academic disciplines to create new knowledge, utilize research findings, and develop innovative products. Pillar 7. Global academic standards and excellence. Achieve the highest levels of recognition in quality and compliance standards from CHED, AACUP, and other international accrediting and regulatory bodies for higher education. We will intensify our efforts to achieve and sustain better academic performance and continue to excel as a top-performing school in various professional licensure examinations and produce board top-notchers as well as sustain our status of being the most preferred graduates of employers. Likewise, we aim to establish and to be recognized as centers of development and excellence in our academic programs. Pillar 8. Synergistic, productive strategic networks and partnerships. Synergize and forge strategic linkages and partnerships across all sectors of society and the global community in line with the overall plans and programs of the university. Establish alliance with the government, industry sector, NGOs, and the academe will lead to resource sharing, program support, and research collaborations beneficial for all. Pillar 9. Active and sustained stakeholders engagement. Harness a healthy and harmonious organization by empowering all its stakeholders, both internal and external, through open communication networks, consultative and participative undertakings, and team-building activities, recognizing that all stakeholders can greatly contribute towards the betterment of the university. Pillar 10. Sustainable social development programs and projects. Expand access to education, knowledge building, and information dissemination through sharing of expertise and resources for community development. Support inclusivity approach and education by embarking on Education on Wheels, which aims to bring access to education closer to communities, following the principle of no one will be left behind. As the University of the People, we should bring the university closer to their hearts to serve their needs and extend assistance in mainstreaming public service. Our institution must continue to stand as one for the values that we have inculcated. For the past 115 years, we have exemplified our quest for truth, excellence, equity, relevance, effectiveness, integrity, and academic freedom. Lastly, I call upon each and everyone to join me in this journey. Together we stand as one para sa sintang paaralan para sa ating bayan.
All right. Thank you everyone for your patience. Once again, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here in our iTech webinar series. So let's take this time to also acknowledge the presence of our faculty members, not only from iTech, but also we have faculty members from other colleges. So good afternoon po to the faculties from the colleges of CCIS, CS, and we also have faculties from COED, and to other participants, good afternoon. And we will not be taking much of your time. So without further ado, let's proceed with our third and the last, but definitely not the least, resource speaker. Our next resource speaker graduated with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Electronics and Communications Engineering from the University of St. Louis Tuguegarao in 2005, and his Master's of Science in Engineering, major in Communications Engineering here in our Sintang Paaralan in the year 2017. He is currently the Director and Head of Technology Strategy of Globe Telecom. He is responsible for Globe's 3 to 5 year technology strategy, emerging technology adoption, network technology innovations, and the new technology solutions testing, validation, and integration of new services and technologies into Globe's network, including 5G, Internet of Things, and its various applications that include intelligent communities. He is a licensed professional electronics engineer, as well as an ASEAN registered engineer and APEC engineer in the field of telecommunications. He is also a fellow at the Asian Academy of Engineering and Technology. His 15-year career in the telecommunications industry included stints in the engineering academe and the private sector, particularly in the field of telecommunications. His fields of experience include telecommunication technologies, network architecture design, planning and engineering, standardization and academic-based researchers in energy harvesting, Internet of Things, automation, antenna systems, and communication system design. He is also an associate professor and researcher at the College of Engineering and Institute of Technology here in PUP. He is a multi-awarded professional engineer involved in several local and international organizations, active in numerous community extension works for indigenous communities and youth development. To discuss with us the topic Poise, a gender awareness and development view in engineering and technology, let's welcome and give him a round of applause, Engineer Gerhard P. Tan. Good afternoon po, Engineer.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Adrian, for that warm welcome and introduction about me. So this afternoon's topic actually it's uh, it's all about reflection, and I like it based on the title because it depicts about how people look at others and how do they look at themselves. So later, you're gonna appreciate based on the discussion, and I'm gonna share some of important elements that is needed to be considered in this topic on gender awareness and development. Let me share my screen. Okay, poise. Maybe you're wondering why poise. So as we go along the way with the discussion, you're gonna appreciate why this is the title. With a lot of challenges, adversities, and of course, brought about by the pandemic, it triggers a lot of difficulties, especially on the topic this afternoon on gender awareness and development. But this is on the perspective view of engineering and technology. So I'll be sharing about the different challenges, what are the current trends and behaviors in the society pertaining to this understanding on gender awareness. And likewise, also, what are the key principles that we need to consider and look into opportunities despite a lot of challenges. And lastly, what will be our key takeaway? So this is just a short presentation, and I would love to entertain question later. And I hope you could chat it on the Q&A box or in the message box for us to be able to answer it and share some thoughts. And likewise also for you to answer some of the question that I'm gonna share eventually as part of the presentation. So we'll have a short quiz in a while. Let's start by understanding the roots of why God exists. I mean, gender awareness and development. So it is rooted actually during the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or what they call CEDAW. So this is in accordance to the United Nations General Assembly way back 1979. So where Philippines is part of this community. So gender awareness and development is guided by, of course, the Philippine constitutes based on local legal or official framework that was established by our heads, politicians, and of course, different agencies across the country. So in 1987, the Constitution basically states that it recognizes the role of women. And of course, it brings in the fundamental, law about women and men pertaining to equality. Another executive order was launched in 1989, EO 348, pertaining to approving and adopting the Philippine Development Plan for Women that was signed in 1989, eventually until 1992. This mandates actually the creation of gender and development focal point. So another executive order was signed and put into the context, the Philippine Plan for Gender Responsive Development. And also, another Republic Act was signed in 1992 that tells about the importance on Women in Development and Nation Building Act. So this also supports now the importance of women on how he could provide, and assist in the different areas of the society and be part and partake in the national development. So from engineering, arts, humanities, culture, sports, a lot of things, a lot of areas. So it is also reinforced by Republic Act 9710, where an act providing for the Magna Carta for women. So this is in support for the then Republic Act 7192. So to better understand, before this gender and development awareness was established, this is the kind of thinking that people, men and women, has. Before, women are like supposed to have clean jobs such as being a teacher, a secretary, a librarian. So all this kind of thinking. They they earn less amount of salary, and the major thinking of man is that women are there in our houses to cook food, to do household chores. Likewise, also they are responsible for raising the children, and women are never in charge. It's always the man. Diba? So of course now we have different contexts. That's why there are a lot of discussion about undress, diba? Under the table. So sa mga lalaki. Now of course women are submissive. Okay, contrary to that is that men are the dominant ones. They take charge. Okay, they were the one who mandates, who like, okay, you do this, you do that. Okay, you stay at home. Yan ang sinasabi niya sa asawa niya. Okay, of course now we have different stories. So it's always man who does the work in science, in engineering, and technical field. Okay, so they are really like the captain of the house. Okay, or the general of the house. Of course, now we have different contexts. Ang general na daw sa bahay ngayon ay yung asawa, yung babae. Okay? So look at the statistics in this graph. These are the key challenge why up until now there is gender disparity. Okay, there is inequality in terms of number of men versus women enrolling in engineering, in information and communication technology courses. Look at the difference, na? So very far. But well, in the Philippine ecosystem, a lot of women are already enrolling engineering and tech courses. So looking into that perspective is that it means that we are now really elevating to the next level. Women are taking into active roles, being a leader, being a scientist, being an engineer, being a top executive, and even being a top scientist. So not only that, of course, there are also other gender consideration as we go along the way. So what are the key principles in a gender and development? So it refers actually to the development perspective and process that is participatory and empowering. Look at the words, participatory, empowering. It's bringing in the capability, okay? Respectful of humans and human rights. So even supportive to different activities and bringing in the potentiality, bringing out the best in each one. So key pillars that are into the ecosystem of gender and development is the gender equity, where fair, or equality between women and men, and also promoting women in sense of like worth, self-worth, and choice and influence. So like bringing in, the influencing women to partake in decision making, in bringing in new ideas, innovation, and of course leading, okay, like being part of the political arena. And lastly is gender mainstreaming. So bringing in now the balance between men and women. So it's like hindi porket lalaki ka, ikaw na. Okay? Hindi porket babae ka, ikaw lagi nasusunod. Okay? So parang sa bahay lang 'yan, 'di ba? Pag nagagalit si Mrs. Okay, I'm single by the way. So pag nagagalit si Mrs., 'di ba? So titiklop na lang si Mister. 'Di ba? 'Yun yung Andres na sinasabi. Okay, these are the current trends and behavior across the globe. Look, here are the top 10 countries in the world where there is gender equality. Iceland is number 1, where they have unique cultures and traditions actually, and in terms of how they respect men and women, bringing in capabilities in terms of and bringing out the potentialities of women in those countries. It's really on a balanced point of view. And on the right side, also, these are most gender equal countries in the world. That was basically the statistics in 2020. So I think it's 17 ang Pilipinas dito. So see, well, on a same way, we're not just talking about gender awareness and development. It is also connected actually with how the countries, are on the roadmap towards total development, being industrialized, being balanced, being economically stable. So because gender awareness and development is just part of the whole social development, that when we want to promote a country being a happy place to stay, parang kan lang yan Roque, happy place. So gender awareness and development is part of the whole system that country or heads of the countries needs to look into and consider. Okay, look at these countries, especially in the top 10. These are developed countries, diba? Well, with the exemption of Rwanda. I mean Rwanda, so in Africa. So, but nonetheless, those are and also Nicaragua, I should say. So, nonetheless, Switzerland, Denmark, Sweden, Belgium, Netherlands, Norway. I love to go to Norway. So, these are countries that are really in the top list where we want to stay and retire. We want to live. We want to really, spend the rest of our life. Kung may pera ka, I mean kung mayaman ka, and or if you have planned to go and migrate in those countries. But of course, if you ask me, there's no greater, happiness being at home. Okay, there's no place like home. So I love my country. I love staying here in our province here in Cagayan. The cool breeze during morning, despite it's very hot during noontime. You hear the chirp of the birds. The morning the morning sound of roaster chicken, and likewise also the different animals that are there. So it's really wonderful in the province. But nonetheless, these are the countries where really they adopt and they are gender equal. So sooner or later, Philippines will progress into the top 10. So let's take a look also on the behavior here in our country. Like Philippines is ranking first in Asia for gender diversity, especially in the workplace? Well, I can say in the company where I belong, we have a very, very deep culture of respect. In Globe, I'm very proud of the company where I'm working. Um, we always instill. I mean, the company leaders, they always instill it in us, the system of malasakit, the care for our fellow man and for the customers. And likewise, also I'm proud to say that Globe as a company, they are very respectful in terms of gender balance and equality. So later I'm gonna share in the next couple of slides how we undertake this kind of scenarios. And look at it. Philippines has the most female industry leaders. Well, in the technology field and even in the engineering field, top companies, a lot of women are taking the lead to be CEOs, CFOs, and even the chief executives. So they take lead big companies like SM. Yeah. So also in the overall gender diversity in the workplace among the 10 Asian country, well, we are number one, and also mostly women dominate in finance and human resources, HR. Yeah, HR leads the chief human resource officers, and the challenge is that um, it women are underrepresented in technology and transportation and logistics and even in engineering. So, but of course, it will flow along the way. I'm very sure we will achieve the balance. So not only that, we're not just talking about, male and female. There are also, a part of the LGBT community. I mean, gays take active role also to become industry leaders. Like I've known several individuals who are really top leaders and performing well, and with great respect on these people. So also, there are 2 in 7 engineering students are female. So this is one of a like a, a trend that that is being looked at, especially for young senior high, who are taking engineering courses. So well, we need to educate. We need also to bring and empower parents. Okay, that engineering and technology courses are the next. Next big thing actually. Well, like during this time of pandemic, it's something that digitalization is needed. Okay, so who should be in the front line aside from the medical frontliners? Diba? So engineers, ICT, information technologies, TechVoc, okay, and other, technical courses. So those TechVoc graduate. So we need to build an ecosystem like inspiring, okay, these senior high school students, junior high school student that enrolling in TechVoc course and sooner or later becoming taking engineering course and to be a graduate to become engineer is challenging, exciting, but of course it will really give a total output and how do I term this one, more of realizing our dreams and aspiration. I just want to share, I supposedly should be taking medical course, to pursue my medicine. But unfortunately, of course, during those times, we don't have much money. So I ended up taking up engineering. I didn't regret because I realized that when you take technology or engineering course, you can contribute also to the growth and development of the society. That's with the assumption that you do your job, you live and work in good example. Okay? So there's a different story. Okay? I hope you understand that one. So if you live and work by good example and you do your job, contribute for the success of the company, well, that will create now a ripple effect. Because the customers are Filipino people who will realize the technology, the service that your company is offering. Ripple effect lang yan. Okay? And also bringing in a community, actually, making them aware about, this kind of stuff. So I just segue on this, inspiring young minds, but nonetheless, in terms of educating them also on gender awareness, is something that we need to bring in into our DNA. It is something that we need to live up, okay? So that in as we journey along the way, there is what they call respect, acceptance, bringing in equality as a result. Kasi if you don't respect other people, they will not respect you also. That's why I keep on putting emphasis in gender development. The way to go, it's about how you bring yourself to others and how others will also show themselves to you. Okay, if you bring respect and show respect to them, then respect will come back. Okay, so look at this beautiful lady. She's a L'Oreal UNESCO Women for Science Fellowship awardee, and the name of Miss Mary Jacqueline Romero. Sabi niya, the world needs science, and science more than ever needs women. O, di ba? So that's what they call women empowerment. So powerful that she got to inspire other women also to step up. Other men to also step up and be inspired. And not only that, of course, I'm very sure gays and lesbians have the same feeling. It's about inspiring. It's about bringing to the next level so that this will be a good avenue for them to develop. So we're not just talking about, hey, that's your gender. Hey, that's your gender. So we need to remove that stigma. Okay? We need to really respect them on their preference. So that's what they call, equality and acceptance. So there are, aside from, of course, the women in science, okay, tough man in the engineering, because for the longest time, di ba, pag sinabi mong technologies, engineers, mga man-dominated courses yan. But now, the landscape had changed. Okay, there are a lot of women, okay, who are also climbing and leading, actually, okay, countries like Prime Minister of New Zealand, di ba? So babae yun. So across the other areas of the society, women are stepping up also. Even, gays and lesbians are also stepping up. Because we want to promote now the ecosystem of balance. Okay? That's equality. So I have few quizzes actually. So you may type your answer on the message box. Define what's this symbol, and then let's see who will get the right answer. Okay? So ayan. So anong symbol ito? Ayan, let's see. Ayan, ang bilis ah. Ang bilis. Ayan. Male. Ayan, tama. Okay, eto. Ano yan? Mali. 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 Walang ganyan. More. Hindi, walang sex. Mali yan. Ayun, very good, Leia, by gender. Ayan, galing. Okay, this one. Ayan, ang dali niyan. Ayan, female. Okay. Anong ba? Female yun. Ayan, next.
Ano to? Fish.
Walang fish. Sabi ko na nga, fish. As I was thinking, fish ang sasagot nyo. Walang intersex, walang Jesus. Wala. Wala rin yan. Anong Teletubbies? Nawawala kayo. Anong non-binary? Walang binaries of zeros and ones yan. Hindi yan digital communication. Natatawa ako sa inyo. Sige pa. Ayan. Logic gates.
Ano logic games, symbol games yan? Hindi ko alam.
Hala. Anong YouTube? Walang YouTube.
Nagawa sana ako ng farm eh. Automatic farm.
Nakakatuwa naman kayo. Ha? Wait lang. Ay, shucks. Oh, sorry. Let me reshare. Ay, mat ganun. Nawala. Tawa ako sa inyo. Wait lang, sorry, nawala. Okay, may nakasagot na kanina eh. Ay, shucks. Okay. Ayan.
I can review.
Okay. Ayan, may nakasagot na kanina eh. Nawala na. Hindi ko na nabasa. Saglit. Ay, shucks. Ayun. Third gender. Walang Illuminati. Ano ba? Okay. Ayan. Thank you. So, what we need to achieve and what do we want to achieve? That's a very big question mark up until now that across the society, across the globe actually haven't achieved yet. So in the Philippines, we are still on the process actually of achieving this kind of thought and sooner or later develop our society. Okay. Well, up until now, there is this conservatism that still exists. Like you can see in that picture, okay? So, there's an equality though, pero ang problema, 'di ba? Hindi patas kumbaga yung opportunity. Okay? So, look at the pictorial representation. Equal nga kayo na may mga boxes, 'di ba? At the rightmost picture. Pero, 'di ba yung opportunity hindi ganun ang ka-equal. That's why hindi niya rin ma-view kung ano yung dapat niyang mapanood. Unlike on the rightmost, there is that progressive and substantive equality. Diba? So ayan, makikita mo na yung there's an equal opportunity given. Yung matangkad, hindi niya naman na kailangan yung box. So, he just stands still. Now, yung pinakamaliit or bata, yun yung nalagyan ng dalawang box para makita niya. So, andun yung equal opportunity given, okay, to them. So that all the three will be able to view it. Okay, so parang male, female, and the third gender. Diba? There is, an equality, an equal opportunity given to them. Okay, same applies in engineering and technology. So, citing examples, there are some companies who are actually adopting acceptance on LGBT and setting rules and regulation pertaining to that. And there are some success stories that I've heard based on meetings with some friends that even in their company or workplace, they recognize same-sex relationship or marriage, and even to that extent of marriage. So these are key indicators that we're gearing towards total acceptability and equality, and even bringing in equal opportunity regardless of which gender you have selected and you had chosen for you to live up your life. Okay, so there are some big companies and corporations that are really adapting and giving equal opportunities. Okay, so on top of that is the strong support towards the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 5. That's gender equality. What we want to achieve is the gender equality and empower all women and girls to that extent. Okay, of course, this had evolved in time already, and even including other genders across the society. So just look at the word equality, and of course, transforming it into bringing in mutual respect to each and every one. So take a look at this message. Everyone is a reflection of values, and anyone can be a catalyst of action. And all are bearers of gendered messages. Di ba? Tama naman, di ba? Look at the mirror. Di ba? You is your reflection of yourself. Unless otherwise, di ba, may iba kang ugali. So that's a different story. So it's about poise. It's about how you bring in yourself, okay, to others. How you gracefully represent yourself and be elegant, okay. So that brings in also the respect that you bring in to other people. Yeah, that's the key word there. Okay, bringing in respect to yourself and respect to other people. So at the end of the day, I would like to leave this message to everyone. Diba? Live and work by good example. So thank you very much, and I now welcome question from the audience for us to have a fruitful and holistic presentation this afternoon.
All right. Thank you, Engineer, for sharing to us your knowledge or views about gender awareness and development. So, tulad na sinabi ni Engineer, we are now going to begin answering questions from our participants. So, once again, if you have questions that you wanted to ask, please feel free to type it on the Zoom chat box and YouTube comment section. So, kung kaninang nagpa-quiz, nagpa-game si Sir, medyo active tayo. So, tingnan natin kung gaano tayo ka-active when it comes to asking questions para mas maintindihan natin itong gender awareness and development. So, anyone po who would like to ask? Ayan. A question coming from Jerome of DICT 25. What is bigender?
Okay, so basically when you say bi gender, it's a representation either you choose being a man, but of course, you have these characteristics of women. Okay, or vice versa. Kapag women ka, okay, you choose to be like a man, okay, pero andun pa rin yung women blood mo. So it's more of percentage, okay, in terms of how you represent yourself. Okay. So yung parang gusto mo siya, yung same, and then at the same time gusto mo rin yung babae. Okay, or vice versa. Okay.
All right, thank you. Any other questions po? While we are waiting for some questions, sharing with you a feedback coming from Ma'am Emily Patton. Thank you, Sir Gerhard Dan, for the very interesting topic you have shared with us today.
Thank you to
Any more questions? Ayan. Kung kanina, engineer, ang tanong is, what is bigender? Next question coming from Jerome pa din, from DICT 25. So baka may best in participation to mamaya si Jerome. What is third gender daw po, sir? What is third
Okay.
gender?
When you say third, I mean, third gender, it's like a category of people who do not identify as male or female, but rather neither or both. Okay, so parang it can be associated as third sex, parang ganon. So pwede mong actually when I browsed last week yung internet, when I type gender, akala ko male, female, and yung lesbian and gay, apat. Ang dami pala. So I got to get aware of myself, pero may mga parang intertwined connection yung mga definitions nila. So that's why medyo careful din ako sa pag-explain nung mga wordings. So even queer actually, so may definition din yun. Different definition. Okay?
All right. Other questions po? What is the truth about gender equality? Question from DMET 13.
Daven, well, it's very broad, no? There's still a lot of things happening. One, discrimination. Like for example, up until now, yung stigma ng mga tao, lalo na for those people na who are gays and lesbian, parang iba pa rin yung tingin nila. Kasi, well, we live in the country of really so conservative. We came from the belief on conservatism. So, kaya yung statistics na pinakita ko kanina, so we are not yet there. There's still a lot of things happening and a lot of laws needs to be inputted and be approved by our politicians. So G is one. I'm waiting for that actually. This is also a good law to protect, the other members of the society. So this in turn will also protect them and provide them equal opportunity. That's the one that I'm explaining earlier, yung about bringing in and giving equal opportunity. Also, there's still other communities who have really this well, I should find a right word, still on disparity mode, and they're not on an providing equality. So ayun. So the truth on that is there's still a lot of things that we need to improve, like discrimination, violence, especially now, pandemic. Ang daming missed opportunities. A lot of female and other, genders of the society are not given the opportunity. They lost their job. So ayan, yan yung mga consequences and challenges that we are experiencing, especially during these times of pandemic. So of course, I don't want to cite, but rather maybe some form of violence and criminalities are still happening. That's why, well, those were the truth about gender equality. Still not on the process or the stage of being equal.
All right, thank you, sir. We have another question coming from YouTube, coming from Adeline de los Santos. Ano pong characteristics or personality does people with preferred genders, if possible, those that you met in person, have in similar that contributes highly to their profession?
I like that I like that question. Well, to answer that, no, perseverance. Aside from respect that they have, that's very number one, perseverance. Then they really pursue their dreams and aspirations in life to achieve, to be respected by people, and to achieve their visions and aspirations in life. Well, ako mismo, I had put a certain bar or level that in every stage, in every year, in every birthday that I experience and I embrace, I make it a point that I have deliverable for myself. Okay, that I need to achieve this one, I need to achieve that one. I put my vision into action, because if you put your vision, if you'll not put it into action, then you're just a daydreamer. Walang mangyayari sa'yo. One thing that I also noticed with other competitive individuals, who had chosen different path, not only in engineering and technology, is their passion, their drive. Okay, those were the key characteristic. Ano man ang panlalait na na-experience nila, dead ma lang. Who cares? At the end of the day, it's not you and me. It's me and God. Yun ang mga characteristics na nakita ko at napansin ko, na-observe ko sa mga achievers. Lalo na even yung mga top executives sa Philippines na where I got to talk with. They always tell me that it's about, loving your job, have the passion to do and drive to achieve your goals in life. Without that, walang mangyayari sa. You're just plain tamad, one tamad. Okay, we have to remove that identity, yung very famous identity na one tamad. Okay, and also those another, I really hate that that quote for Filipinos, di ba? Crab mentality. I met a lot of friends and established partnership with them and collaboration across the country, across ASEAN country, and who had preferred to be in like a lesbian or gay. One thing that they have in common, they don't have this crab mentality. If someone achieved, they praise them, they uplift them, and they are also inspired by uplifting them. Because in one way, wow, okay, si Madam X naging CEO na pala ng company. Then, in turn, it will boomerang back to you and, have a deep self-reflection and say, soon magiging CEO din ako ng sarili kong kumpanya. Okay? That's bringing in inspiration to yourself. Okay? Setting, your goal, and then putting this vision into action, achieving along the way. No man is a millionaire overnight unless na mangurakot ka or magbulsa ka ng pera ng ibang tao or magnakaw ka. But if you instill in yourself, that passion, that drive, that respect, that urge to achieve this despite challenges, di ba? Kahit walang pera ka ngayon, sabihin mo sa sarili mo, madidiskartehan mo yan, and you'll achieve your goal by working hard in achieving these set goals. Ayun.
All right, thank you po. We have another question coming from Eliza from DMET21. Considered as third gender po ba yung non-binary or magkaiba po yun?
Well, non-binary. Well, it will form. Basta yung may change in terms of preference, it will automatically be categorized as third gender. Once you had, when I say imbalance and you chose to act on this one, okay, for example, ako, nagkagusto ako sa kapwa ko, then it will form part now of being a third gender. Kasi once na ang binary is situated into male and female lang. Yun.
All right. From DOMT11, this is not a question, rather an appreciation for Sir Gerhard for providing us a smooth discussion, on-point explanations, at sa magandang PowerPoint presentation. So this is a feedback from DOMT11, Sharina.
Thank you, Sharina.
All right, check po natin kung mayroon pang ibang questions. Okay, sir, can you please enlighten us how can an individual identify if he or she is part of the LGBTQI A2S plus, or what are the differences between this LGBTQIA2 IA2S plus? Yan.
Diyan din ako actually na medyo tumagal sa pagbabasa kasi humaba na. Dati kasi is like meron kang male, female, gay and lesbian. It evolved into LGBT and now LGBTQI plus and QIA and then may plus na rin. Nonetheless, regardless kung ano man yung evolved definition, no, for as long as it qualifies into a different, perception, or should I say preference, okay, you automatically belong to another segment of gender. So regardless kung evolve ka na, kung queer ka or other segment, yun nga sa symbol alone ha, dati dalawa lang yan. Ngayon nag-evolve na into 18 na yung nandun sa list. So eventually mag-evolve din yan. So similarly to the definition nun, is that to simplify it at hindi ka na malito sa sobrang haba, diba? For as long as nag-iba yung preference mo, okay, automatically na you belong to the third gender or another segment. So it's up to you na on how you will qualify yourself based on the updated definition. Okay?
All right, thank you po. I guess this is the last question. Can an individual's confused gender state be a negative factor sa passion niya sa work?
It depends. There are some who are not strong, who are weak. Sorry for the word. I don't mean anything on that, but it's more of psychologically categorizing people when I say weak. Okay, I don't mean anything on that. But for definition purpose is that there is weak and strong emotional capability. Kapag sobrang weak yung emotion mo, prone to breakdown ka, maapektuhan yung trabaho mo, maapektuhan yung pag-envision mo sa sarili mo. Pag strong ka, okay, iyak ka man ngayon, bukas wala na. Or some, like for example, ako, mabilis ako mag-change ng kumbaga, ng visual and attitude. For example, ngayon, parang ang pangit ng pakiramdam ko, parang, hindi ko nakuha yun, hindi ko na-achieve yun. And then eventually, after 1 hour, nakaka-move on na ako. Okay? So, in that way, mas, kumbaga, steady ka emotionally and kaya mong ma-withstand any challenge. So, parang, kung may darating pang panibagong challenge, deadma lang, ganon. So I'm sure I've seen in some of my students may ganyan din na attitude na ngayon mapagalitan sila tapos mamaya deadma lang, wala na, parang pumasok dito lumabas diyan. So it's part of growing up, it's natural. So doon sa other side naman, yun yung problema. Well, ang pinakaayoko sa lahat na naririnig, no, yung may mga former students din ako dati, may mga suicidal attempts. Okay, na like they felt they are so down, they felt like wala nang nangyayari sa buhay nila, they are so discouraged, totally out of their mind, so they tend into into getting into this kind of thinking na okay, hopeless na ako. Huwag ganon. My advice, especially on those kind of attitude and those students, is that find an avenue where you will become happy. Build friends. Hanap ka ng pagkakaabalahan mo. Okay? Make yourself busy. Cheer up. Diba? Life is a wonderful journey. Life is just everywhere. Diba? Don't think about this kind of thinking na okay, wala na akong pag-asa, hanggang dito na lang ako, for life na ako dito, walang mangyayari sa akin. Every corner of the room, left and right, has a lot of opportunity. You just need to find it. You just need to enjoy. You just need to embrace, okay, these challenges. Wala kang pera ngayon, so what? Makakahanap ka din naman. Dumiskarte ka lang. Okay? Basta wag ka lang magnakaw. Pwede kang mag-online, di ba? O mag-TikTok ka kung yun ang happiness mo. O, di ba? There are a lot of beautiful things in this earth. Ako, ngayong pandemic, okay, ang pinagkakaabalahan ko, okay, 8 o'clock or should I say 7:30 in the morning, I wipe my table here and then working table ha kasi work from home kami, and then of course pagdating ng 6 o'clock matapos yung meeting ko, 6 o'clock I attend my class in the evening. Okay, because I have classes sa undergrad. And then pagdating ng umaga or ng late ng gabi, I do some sort of calisthenics exercise before I eat my dinner. Or sometimes, pagka na-overlap na siya while nag-explain yung student or nagre-report, I got to have a chance to eat somehow. Pika-pika lang, pampatawid gutom, then later eat. In the morning, pag hindi ako nakapag-exercise ng gabi, I wake up early and then do some short exercise before another day will embrace me in work. And then pagdating ng gabi, ayun. So along the way, may mga chatting moment ako. I make it a point na kapag 12 o'clock noon time, okay, pag 12 o'clock noon time, mag-power nap ako to gain more energy, to refresh myself. And then Saturday, attend to my class. Pagdating ng hapon, go to community service. Okay? I run several community service kasi. So, since yung class ko sa graduate school, I teach on a Sunday, okay, I ensure that Saturday afternoon will be for community extension works. And then Sunday, I meet my class or attend to webinar in the evening and acquaint with some friends sa Facebook, sa IG, update my account and all that, and then watch movie. I mean Netflix or YouTube, ganon. Hear some sound, ganon. So, continuing professional development, kapag may mga dull moment or wala akong ginagawa, I open the internet, read books, and then read online newsfeed, update myself, and then attend to webinars and trainings sa ISEP or sa mga international webinars. Sometimes kasi, like hindi ako makatulog, I got to attend yung mga 6G symposium, ganun ng 11 o'clock kasi Europe eh. So 11 o'clock ng gabi, matatapos yun ng 1 a.m. and then I sleep. So all these things, routinary, pero I enjoy doing it. Diba? Because I got the chance to network myself during Saturday or even through Facebook. Okay, in that way, natatanggal yung lungkot ko. Sometimes kapag mga dull moment, naisip ko, parang ang lungkot-lungkot ng buhay ko. Naisip ko, itulog ko na lang. Matutulog ako, power nap. Mayat-maya, wala na. So, ikain mo na lang yan. Ganon. Okay, these are the things that I'm doing within a 24/7. Okay, na journey ko. And lastly, before I sleep, I pray. Guide me Lord, guide me, for tomorrow will be another challenge for me to embrace. Give me the strength to overcome my weakness. Give me the passion to drive myself. Give me the opportunity to bring in happiness and good smile to my team members, to my teammates, to my batchmate, to my classmate, to all the friends who are nearer to my heart, and even bring greater good to my students, and bring happiness with your great smile, sabi nila. Your smile will create a ripple effect and inspiration to the people around you. So pag nalulungkot sila, nakita ka nag-smile, madadagdagan at magta-transform din ang mukha nila. So kung dati, ang pangit-pangit nilang tignan kasi ang lungkot-lungkot, okay, magiging maganda at gwapo na rin sila kasi mag-smile sila. Okay, so that's my journey, Adrian.
All right, thank you, Engineer Tan, for explaining to us gender equality and development, and thank you to all participants who participated in our question and answer. Now, to present the certificate of appreciation to our resource speaker, let's call on Professor Florida Santiago to read us the contents of the certificate. Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. Allow me to read the contents of this certificate. Republic of the Philippines, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Office of the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Institute of Technology. This certificate of appreciation is hereby given to Engineer Gerhard P. Tan in grateful acknowledgement of his engagement and insightful academic contribution as resource speaker with the topic Voice, a Gender Awareness and Development View in Engineering Technology. In the webinar series, Promoting Gender Equality in Technical, Vocational Education and Training, TVET, via Zoom on September 14, 2021. Given this 14th day of September 2021 at the Institute of Technology, NDC Compound, Boresa Street, Santa Mesa, Manila, Philippines, signed by Ramir M. Cruz, Dean, Institute of Technology, Emmanuel C. D. Guzman, President for Academic Affairs. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Flor, and to our audience and to the students who took part actively in this session. I wish you all the best in your journey. Don't forget, He is the answer to your problem, and enjoy your life. Have a wonderful afternoon to everyone, and God bless you all.
All right, once again, thank you, Engineer, for sharing your valuable time with us. And all right, with that, before we come to an end, or before we proceed with the next part of our program, may we request everyone to please open your camera for us to have a photo session together with our resource speaker. All right, so show your best smile. Tulad nga na sinabi ni Engineer.
Opo. May 6 slides po tayo. First slide po. 1, 2, 3. Next slide po. 1, 2, 3. Third slide po. 1, 2, 3. Fourth slide po. 1, 2, 3. Fifth slide po. 1, 2, 3. Last slide na po. 1, 2, 3. Okay na po.
All right, with that, before we come to an end, may we call on our beloved Dean of the Institute of Technology, none other than Engineer Ramir M. Cruz, to give his closing remarks. Good afternoon po, sir.
Good afternoon po sa lahat. Our event has come to a close. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of us now who participated in this two-day webinar series, in Institute of Technology. I would like to thank all our distinguished speakers who gave their knowledge and expertise on promoting gender equality in the technical vocational education and training side. Okay. This is really a testament of the institutes, and of course the university's unending commitment of advocating equality for all the stakeholders within the university. This is also to give light, of course, with the importance of gender equality, whether we are still studying as students, and when you to our students, when you practice your profession. The university is an advocate of gender equality. The university doesn't discriminate. We are inclusive, and of course, we want to empower you as students, whatever may be your whatever gender bias or gender orientations you might have, and we still embrace you as part of our community. Of course, with that, sabi nga kanina ni Sir Gerard, ngiti lang tayo, nandito tayo sa isang mahirap na sitwasyon. We are facing a pandemic, but let us remember that this too shall pass. Okay? And of course, we would like to encourage you to come out and of course embrace your gender orientations, and we will work closely with you so that we could eradicate or eliminate gender bias in our institute and in our university. Makakaasa po kayo na anuman ang inyong orientasyon, kayo po ay malugod naming tatanggapin at tinatanggap dito sa ating institusyon at sa ating pamantasan. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Mabuhay ang Institute of Technology. Mabuhay ang Sintang Paaralan. Maraming salamat po.
All right. Thank you for those remarks, sir. And now, before we officially end today's program, let's all sing our PUP hymn.
Ng
right, so this ends our webinar series entitled Promoting Gender Equality in Technical Vocational Education and Training, with the hopes that every participants learned a lot from the two-day webinar series. Please don't forget to answer the exit evaluation, which the link shall be distributed to the corresponding chat box or the comment section of the Zoom and on YouTube. And thank you for participating for this webinar series. And thank you for all the faculties who attended and to all the organizers who take part of this webinar. Thank you and see you on our next webinar series. Good afternoon po sa lahat. All right, once again po, reminder to all our participants, before you leave the Zoom or the YouTube live stream, please don't forget to answer the evaluation link. Thank you and God bless.